I hope y'all are having a great day. I hope you had a really good weekend. Today we are revealing the craft paper designs for May, as well as doing some giveaways. And I have 6 giveaways. I am giving away a package of vintage sewing patterns to 6 different people today. All right. So this month's craft paper is gorgeous, very beautiful, and I can't wait for you to see it. And so I'm going to show you that. We're going to be giving away our vintage sewing patterns. You have to be watching live to win. And then we're going to be using our craft paper designs to make something beautiful. I'm doing laundry, so I'm sorry for the background noise. Sometimes you just got to get it done. You know what I mean? And today I have been, well, really, I've been busy for the past week working on my backyard and getting it. There's been just so many things that need to be done. And so today I have been painting. I've been doing a lot of painting, really. That's mostly what I've done, and pressure washing. And so I got my Adirondack chairs painted today, finished those. Well, I started yesterday, got them finished today. And so I've just been busy outside, and it's a beautiful day here in Kentucky. And I want to spend all my time out there right now, especially now that I am making it look pretty. It's 75 here in Kentucky. When you hop on, say hello. Let me know you're watching. Y'all, I'm on my phone today, which I typically am not, because I couldn't get the other one to charge. And it is dead. And it's still there. It finally came on. I let it charge for like 15 minutes and it still wouldn't come on. Hi, Aletta. Hello, Lori. Happy Monday. Hey, Carol. Hey, Cindy. I hope you had a great vacation, Cindy. Hello, Kathy. Hi, April. Hey, Linda. Hello, Kim. Hey, Pam and Rhonda and Sandy. Hi, Danae. Thank you, Kim. Hey, Margaret. Hi, Cindy. Hey, Kathy. I don't wear t-shirts very often anymore, but I've been painting today. So this is just an old, I actually had on something different this morning and changed to paint, and I never changed back into what I had on. So, all right, y'all. So craft paper reveal, y'all. The reason why I was telling you that I'm on my phone is because I can only see one comment at a time on my phone. Hey, Linda. And so bear with me. I'm going to do my best to keep an eye on the comments, but it's possible I could miss them. Hi, Danielle over on YouTube. Hey, Rosemarie. Happy Monday. It's definitely possible that I'm going to miss some comments. So, all right, let's talk about how this works. If you have been here for a little while, then you probably already know. But what I'm going to do is set a timer on the phone. And when that timer goes off, I'll pick the comment that I see on the screen. I can only see one comment on the screen. So I'll pick that comment, and that person will be the first one to win. Again, I apologize. I'm doing laundry, so it's a little bit noisy right now. My washer and dryer is old, so it's not quiet at all. Okay. All right. So let me set a timer. And when that timer goes off, we'll pick the first winner. So you just have to keep your comments rolling through in order to win. Okay? I hope y'all had a really great weekend. We went to Nashville this past weekend and went to the Great Junk Hunt. I don't know if y'all have ever been to that before, but it was a blast. Sandy, vintage sewing patterns is the prize. It was a lot of fun. It was very overwhelming. It was packed, super packed, tons and tons of people, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's probably not my cup of tea because I'm cheap and I like to find good deals. And it's hard to find great deals at that place. I did come home with some good deals, and I bargained that was the only good thing about it, was that I could go up to them and say, hey, would you take this? And I had brought cash with me. And so a couple of times I had a couple of things and I just went up and was like, hey, would you take 10 for both of these items? Or on one of them, I wanted $26 worth of product, but I only had $21 in cash left. So I was like, will you take 21? And so they took 21. And so that's the best part, I think, about that, is when you go to, antique malls and things like that, you can't do that. But at the Great Junk Hunt, you could. So that was a good thing about that. But a lot of it was a little over my price range, a lot over my price range, honestly, on the majority of items. Hey, Barbara. Yes, they're sewing patterns. Someone asked about the Kentucky Derby. I did see that. Did not get to go. I didn't even watch the Kentucky Derby this year because I was out of town. But the horse that won, it is kind of really fun because it is the first woman trainer to win the Kentucky Derby in 100 and something years, like ever. However many years the Kentucky Derby has been going on, 100 and some odd years. It's the first time a woman trainer has won. So that's really cool. And this horse came from the back. It was 20-1 odds, came from the back and won around the outside. And so really kind of cool. But anyways, so I did not watch it though. I just caught the recaps. Okay, so let's do a craft paper reveal. Okay, so, and y'all bear with me on these because my printer is not working really well right now. I need to replace it. And so some of these just don't look really great. So just bear with me, okay? All right. So here is the first set. And this one is a vintage patriotic set, a little bit primitive in a way, but doesn't have to be primitive. So we've got a floral here. This is a red, blue, and white floral. Of course, all of these have a vintage vibe. Then we have a plaid here with this sort of red and blue plaid. Next, we have another floral, and my printer did not print this very well at all. Is this blue floral design that's got this sort of a creamy color floral. That one's really pretty. Hello, Cheryl. Then we've got a fun little stripe here. It's, of course, red, blue, and white, and has little polka dots on it. Hi, Barbara. So cute. Next, we have stars. And again, my printer didn't print this, so it doesn't actually have stripes on it. It's just the way my printer did it. It needs to be replaced. Okay, Glenda McCullers, you're our first winner. Glenda McCullers. Okay. Congratulations, Glenda. All right, let's keep going. Let me restart the timer here. Okay, so just a simple stars, but you can see those stripes. That is not supposed, it's not supposed to be like that. It's solid. But that's just where my printer did not print right. Some of them are fine. Some of them are not. This one is a larger scale floral. Again, red, white, and blue. Then we have sort of a mixed media piece that's got all kinds of different layers on it. All these different pieces. There's stars, there's stripes, there's George Washington, an eagle, a flag, all kinds of different things going on. Penny, the paper club is $10 a month. It's $5 for your first month, 10 after that, okay? And then a ticking red stripe. Okay, so that is your full size sheets, all right? And then for the 4 sheets of signs and embellishments, the first one is this one right here, which is like the cover of a music book. And this one says Pledge of Allegiance. And it's got the Pledge of Allegiance written down here. And just kind of really a pretty vintage looking piece that you could frame. You could decoupage onto something, or you could, if you liked junk journal, you could tear bits and pieces out of it. Then we've got this one here. That sounds like fun, that crafting event. We have a red, white, and blue bingo card. Some little tags that have 250 on them, and then USA. Another little tag down here. Some little stripes and stars that you could use for something. And then a little campfire marshmallows. Graphic. You do not have, there is no limit to how long you have to say, how long you have to stay. You can go back and you can purchase previous month's designs. If you would like to, those are available in your account. So you can go in there and you can purchase other month's designs if you want to. Let's see. How long do you have to stay in the club and how do I join? Penny, you can go to the well, first of all, actually easier way, comment craft paper, and we will send you a link, or you can go to thecelebrationco.com and click on subscriptions and then celebrate and create paper club. And that's where you'll find all the information about that and where you can join. Okay. Okay, I brought back a few from a previous month's papers. Now, I don't typically do this, but what I did is I changed them to 250, and I changed the colors up on them just a little bit. So these are a little bit more muted than the previous month's design. So from last year, I designed, and y'all, I had so much making these, but I did them from scratch. Every little detail was put together. And so there was a lot of work that went into those sparklers covers. So I pulled 3 of them from a previous month and I edited them slightly. So specifically these 2, I added 250 right there. And then on this one here, I added 250 down here. So that it's kind of like a little anniversary, 250th anniversary celebration. And then this little like needlepoint sign right here that says 250th anniversary United States, 1776, 2026. And then it has Liberty. And then, of course, it's got the Liberty Bell and the flags and the eagle, all the things. Okay. All right, so that's the first set. Okay, so remember with the Celebrate and Create Paper Club, you get 2 sets every single month. All right, this set here is the first one with 12 designs. All right, there are 8 full-size sheets and then 4 additional sheets that are like signs and embellishments, things like that. Okay, so that's the first set. Now the second set is a little bit like a shabby chic sort of a style, and it is beautiful. So the first one, okay, let's see here. Larissa Bice, you're our next winner. Thank you, Trisha. Okay, so Larissa Bice, she's our next winner. Thank you, Sandy. Leanne says she loves the paper club. All right, let's start the timer again. Happy Monday, Donna. Okay, so the first one of the next set. So remember, all of these is what you would get this month. Okay, so this month, if you subscribe today or any day this month, these are the ones you're going to be receiving. Okay, so this one right here, so beautiful. It's got your roses, it's got your lace, your sheet music, vintage handwriting. It's in the pinks and sort of light teal colors. And then we've got this one here, which is this sort of peachy pink with lace. And then this one's kind of this teal-like damask kind of a pattern, a little bit distressed. This one here has roses. It's a beautiful floral pattern. Roses on the background. Really pretty design. Hey, Debbie, I'm good. How are you? Up next, we have this one that's kind of like torn paper, but it's also got an all-over design on it. Really beautiful. Would be great, a great background piece. I love this one. It's peachy pink, chippy wood. Deborah, who said that? No, Penny. You do have to print them out. All of these come as digitals. Okay, they're all digitals. So they're emailed to you on the first day of the month, and you get to keep those. And what we recommend is every single month saving them into a folder for that specific month, and then into a folder for 2026. And that way you can print out your contact sheet, which has, I didn't print those this month, but it's got all a little pictures of every single one from that specific month. And you can print those out and keep those in a binder. Or if you would rather, just keep all of your look sheets, your contact sheets in one folder on your computer. You can go in and you can look at all of those and decide which ones you need. So then you can go to that specific month and you can download that specific month's or print that specific month's, whichever ones you need. Okay, so you can print as many times as you want to. These are yours for forever, right? You get to keep these for forever. Okay. Are you going to show your outside? Sandy, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Here's the thing. I've told you all this before. My house is the epitome of don't judge a book by its cover. Okay. I don't go outside in my backyard because it's ugly. And I don't live well in ugly spaces. And so it's a work in progress. I would never, because I'm that embarrassed of it, show you all what it looked like. But I don't even know if I have pictures of what it looked like. It was just bad. But we're getting there, and it's starting to take shape and look halfway decent. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Depends on how good I can make it look. All right, this one right here is this light pink sort of chippy wood beadboard. So stinking cute. So stinking cute. This one is this fun little, it's got floral on it. It's got sort of a beige background with a little bit of that sort of teal. It's not too hot here for yard work. Plus, a lot of my backyard is shaded, so it feels wonderful in the shade. All right, this one here is really fun. It's almost like chippy paint, but it's streaked a little bit. And it's all the different colors. Okay, then we get into our full size sheets, I believe. or our signs and embellishments. And I think, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this one here, or this one here. I think it's this one. So it's like a vintage piece of paper with, it's just very, all of these are just so shabby chic. Okay, then we have a 8 by 10 or an 8.5 by 11. Sandy Cochran, you're our next winner. Okay. Let's reset the timer. All right, so this one right here is this beautiful vase with these gorgeous peonies, I think. And this pretty little teal-like vase, really cute. You can cut this one to an 8.5 by 11 or use it as the full sheet for 8.5 or 9 by 10. Bleh. 8 by 10 or 8.5 by 11. Holy moly. Okay. Then this little sheet here has a couple of little tags. One of them says you are worthy of every good thing coming your way, and the other one says gratitude bloomed in every corner. And you got a couple of little postcards and then some cute little like lace pieces that have butterflies. Then we have an 8 by 8 sign. It says vintage is not about old things. It's about timeless beauty, finding a new story. So we've got a cute little 8 by 8 sign. And then down here, we've just got like some little torn pieces of paper with different designs on them. And then this one is full of all these different tags and little just embellishments that you can cut out and add to your junk journals or to your decor. This is the look sheet that I was talking about. The little contact sheet. So we have one of these that comes with every single set. You can print these out, and on here has a picture of every single design that's in that specific group, as well as the date. Okay, so this one says May 2026. So if you had all of these in a binder, you could flip through, say, you know, I really want this one right here. All you then have to do is go into your computer, go into the folder for May 2026, and you'll easily be able to find it. Okay, so that is this month. Sandy, me and Mom both designed them. So this month, Mom did. Okay, and then I did the Patriotic set this month. So each month she does one, I do another one, and they're both different every single month. So. And again, we do not do repeats. It's always different. Like I said, sometimes on the rare occasion, we may pull something from another month and change it up a little bit. But for the most part, it's always fresh and new. So today, we are going to make over this little sign here that I got from Dollar General using our sign that came from this month's set, this 8 by 8 sign. Sandy, you do need to get a printer. And I'll just tell you, you can get an HP borderless inkjet printer on Amazon for less than $200. And then if you sign up for the Instant Ink program for less than $10 a month, you'll have all of your ink sent to you. And you're going to have all the ink that you need all the time. Rhonda says she got a printer like mine and she loves it. That is great. All right, so I'm going to remove the cardboard off the edges. Penny, I recommend using the Hammer Mill 32-pound premium color copy paper. Lisa, Jackie Holt won the grand prize, and she went with the cutting mat, or not the cutting mat, the glass craft mat. And don't apologize for asking questions about the Celebrate and Create Paper Club, because that's what this live is about. It's about the Celebrate and Create Paper Club, and I want you to ask the questions, okay? So definitely don't apologize. I'm glad you're asking them. Bridget, I have an HP office jet, and I don't remember the number. It is discontinued. I think it's like 8010 or something like that. That specific one is discontinued. I don't know why. That is one complaint that I have, is why do they have to change the numbers every single time they do something new? It annoys me. But you know, it feels like there's a better way they could do it, like, you know, change, like series 1, series 2, series 3, or something like that, so you know you're getting the same thing but a newer version, you know. But when they do it the way they do it, then I never know what's the most comparable to what I have already. So anyways, the one I have is discontinued, and I'm not 100% sure which one's the most comparable to that one. But like I said, it's an office jet, and it is it prints borderless, which is definitely what I recommend looking for when you are buying a printer. Look for something that prints borderless. So I'm just cutting off the edges on this so that we can get it trimmed up. All right, and we've got our sign here. So essentially this is going to go in the middle right here. Yeah, I don't mind the way that that looks on that background. I thought I would need to trying to decide what I want that background to look like. But let's paint it. I can't decide, y'all. I think I'm gonna paint it red. So let's grab our Santa red. Okay. And so we are going to paint, actually, let me do the frame first before I do this, because it's easier for me to trim this way than it is to trim this way. Does that make sense? So let's do the frame. I think we're going to go with white, and then we're going to use some raw umber, I think, to make it distressed looking. The frame came from Dollar General for $7. And it's about a 12 by 12. So we're just going to go with white. Grab a paintbrush. Okay. I think that I'm not going to worry about getting into those beads real well. Okay, Penny Seller, you're our next winner. For our sewing patterns, we've got 2 more to give away. I'm going to set the timer again. Okay, anyways, I think I'm going to put it on a little bit lightly and not get into those crevices real well. I think it's going to give it a more distressed look. So I'm just kind of not worrying about covering it really well. Get in here. So that we want to create a bit of a, you know, vintage look or like a distressed look. And this inside, it really soaks up the paint. Okay, and then we need to do the outside, which it's going to soak up the paint too. That's okay. I'm not going to cover it completely. Yep. Outside. You going outside? Yep. All right. Okay. Last side. All right. I'm going to add a little bit more on the top, and we're going to just distress this. So we'll sand some of this away. Okay. There we go. All right. So let's dry this. I think that's good enough. Me too, Lori. Me too. I'm liking how this is looking so far, the frame, with this distressed look. Even on the edges. Okay, so let's take, hi Karen, let's take our sander and we're just going to go over and just give this a sand. Okay. There we go. So this is how it's looking right now. Let me show you up close so you can kind of see. And we are going to add some raw umber to this. So I'm going to grab my gloves here because we're going to need a lot of raw umber. You don't have a Dollar General, Cheryl? That's crazy because they are everywhere around here. Everywhere. All right, so I got my baby wipes, I got my raw umber, and we are just going to rub this on. And the raw umber, I do want to get into those crevices a little bit better. And then we're just going to rub off the excess so that we create this vintage distressed kind of a look. Okay, so you just really want to get the paint in there, and then we'll just rub it off. And the reason why you want to sand, even though we did a really rustic look with the paint, is because anywhere where you sand, that paint will really sink in and it sort of makes it darker, and it just gives it even more of a vintage distressed look. Thank you, Lisa. Like I said, you need quite a bit of paint here. And you just kind of take a long bristle brush and just sort of rub it on in. And then wipe it away. And it's going to settle into around the beads. Okay, last little bit over here. All right. Okay. And then I'm not really going to do the edges much. I feel like they blend in really well already. So there's our frame. Let me show you up close. Cute, cute. Okay, Cindy Ruby, you're our next winner. Cindy Ruby. If you're a winner, by the way, make sure that you mail or send us your mailing address so that we can send your prize to you. Okay? Cindy Ruby was our next one. All right, so now I'm going to go in with my red now that we've gotten that done. And I am just going to paint as best I can up against the edge here in the red. This is why I decided to do this part after I did the frame, because it is a lot easier to trim on a flat surface than to trim that side. We're going to have to do 2 coats of this. You could always tape it if you want to. Leanne, this is glass, this surface. Is that what you're talking about? And it's a craft mat that I use that I got from Amazon. This isn't actually too bad because there is a little bit of space between the frame and the background. So it's not too bad to paint, or to trim rather. No, it's not glass. This is just a like a wooden, there's no glass in it. Did I reset my timer? I did not reset my timer, y'all. Okay. So we got one more to give away. So keep those comments flowing. All right. And I'm not painting the whole thing because we're decoupaging a sign in here, right? So we don't need to do the whole thing. Let's try this and go in with the second coat. I may also end up going in and adding a little bit of distress ink on here. It is, the new craft paper is out. I just actually revealed it. That's what this live was. And we're actually using the new paper today for this craft. It always comes out on the first of the month. So whenever you are a subscriber, you should receive it in your inbox on the first of the month, sometime on that day. No, I don't think 2 coats is going to be enough. Surprise, surprise. It's red. It was always such a booger bear to paint. Debbie, it's not thrifted, actually. It's from the Dollar General. It was $7 from the Dollar General. All right, let's try again. Let's do a second coat. You could use ribbon instead. Yes, see, and this is how it's looking. I think it's going to be really cute. I'm going to do one more coat. I think I may distress it a little bit, so if it's not perfect, it's going to be fine. Thank you, Deborah. I've done a lot of painting over the years. Let's see here. What did that person say? Debbie said, I've subscribed to the paper since last May. It's awesome. I encourage everyone to subscribe. Thank you so much, Debbie. Y'all, that was my phone if you heard that. All right. Think we're going with this. Okay, let's try this. Now we're looking. Think this is gonna work. Okay. So it's not perfect, but it's going to, I think, be fine. So what I'm gonna do is just take my sander and I'm gonna come in here and follow the edge of the sign and just distress this way. My sander. I don't want to go all this way. I want to make sure that the trim goes in the order. I'm so glad, Dorothy, in the same direction of the frame is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Let's get the dust out. All right, so then I'm going to take this raw umber and we're just going to go over what's going on too heavy or too thin. Okay, so we're going to take some raw umber and I'm just going to rub this on, and then I'm just going to take my baby wipe, just get in here and remove it. Julie, if you comment craft paper, then that will send you a link to join. And you'll just add it to your cart and just like you are purchasing something from us. All right. I think that is going to work. Let me dry this, and then all we have to do is decoupage our paper on. So now that background looks like it kind of goes with the frame. It's got that same vintage distressed look. Okay, so this is gonna look so good. Okay, so we just need to decoupage this on. grab my decoupage glue and a pouncer. And you know what? Before I'm going to remove the paint off of my fingers because I know that I'll just end up making a mess. No, Debbie, the writing will not show through because the paper is thick enough that it will not show through. Now, if it was black writing, I don't know for sure, but the paper that I use, the 32-pound, I use that for that reason because it doesn't show through very much. I think you're right. There is a section of the frame that is not darkened. Somehow I missed that little section there. We'll just fix that right now. Just like that. Okay. So, clean fingers. Now I can apply my decoupage glue onto the back of my paper. I like to use a pouncer for this because it makes sure that I'm getting a nice thin coat of glue. Sometimes a brush can apply too much. Okay, Sandy, Hutch, Hooch. I never know how to say your name right. All right, hang on. Hang on, timer. Okay. On you go. I gotta write Sandy's name down. Don't let me forget. That looks good. Okay. Sandy's our last winner. There we go. All right, y'all. This is looking so good. So I think I'm going to do one more thing. So this is how it looks. Look how pretty that is. And so just one more thing. And I think it's going to bring it all together a little bit. I'm going to grab my vintage photo. And we're going to add some of this to the frame. And what it's going to do is it's going to kind of bring in and mimic that sort of yellowish color of the sign so that the frame looks really good with the sign. And I'm not really doing it on all the frame. I'm just adding it in spots. And it's just going to make this frame look even more distressed and aged. Okay. And that is all there is to it. There is our sign. Look how pretty that turned out. So using our 8x8 sign that was with our craft paper subscription for this month, and a frame from the dollar store. And that's it. And you've got this beautiful piece. And that is the idea behind the craft paper subscription. It is to make easy projects for you. It's to give you an opportunity to create beautiful things for your home that you can swap out and interchange that are easy, that you don't have to take a lot of, it doesn't require a lot of thought. it's just something fun that you can do, that you can spend just a little bit of time doing, and create something beautiful for your house. So that's the idea. So that's how this turned out. Thank you so much for joining me. Um, Comment the word craft paper, and we'll send you a link for the Celebrate and Create Paper Club so you can check it out and see if it's something that you would be interested in doing. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you